Your entire life has been trained to stop asking questions. When you're a kid, if you ask a question like, why is the sky blue? People may say, I don't know, that's just how it is. Or when you're in school, where you are trained to memorize lines of text that may or may not sink in, than to actually question and learn how to find the answer yourself. Or even at work, where your job is in your title and you're literally disincentivized to ask too many questions. Today I want to talk a little about how we lose our sense of curiosity and wonder as we grow up, as well as dig into why asking questions is even important, and how exactly can we reprogram our brains to add more whys into our daily life. So stick with me to the end, and hopefully you'll have gained a little bit more whimsy for you to try out on your next activity. But real quick, welcome, my name is Win, and I'm a guy who only just recently figured out what he wanted to do in life. But I was lucky enough to have a mom who supported me every step of the way. And I know not everyone has this. That's why this channel exists, to share and grow with all of you guys using the things that worked for me. Anyway, now that we're done with the introductions, let's move on. So why is it that as we age, we lose more and more of our sense of curiosity? The simple answer is to blame it on people around us and the environment we live in. But let's delve a little deeper and try to break down this question into a more usable form. Yeah, we can say that people caused us to lose our wonder, but why? They most certainly used to ask questions as well at one point. What are the moments that cause us to break a little inside and ask a little less? Well, when I think about it, I come to a couple points. That's how it's always done. Whenever I was a kid and wondered why my dad or grandma would do this thing this way, I would ask them, and the answer I usually get is, I don't know, it's just done that way. Eventually, after hearing this response for way too many times, I just kinda gave up. Or another one that I can think of, don't ask stupid questions. Thinking back about it, whenever I heard adults say this kind of thing, it was either because it was pretty obvious what needed to be done, or shouldn't be done in the first place. But as a child, using harsh words like that can be pretty upsetting, especially when I genuinely couldn't figure it out. It made me question why I should even bother asking if I was only gonna get ridiculed. So how can we get the point across while still allowing them to be curious? Maybe instead of saying, I don't know, I just did it this way. Instead, we could say, I'm not sure, but I think it's done because of this. Maybe we could do some research together. That way they don't get put down, and as a bonus, you can spend some family time doing some research. As for stupid questions, sometimes kids really do need to figure things out themselves. So maybe instead of disincentivizing them by saying it's stupid, a solution could be to ask them to try and solve it themselves, like a mini puzzle piece. And only give them the answer once they have figured it out. If they got it right, you can congratulate them. If they got it wrong, you can explain to them the real reason. This way, it allows them to still use their brain while being curious. Now, of course, these two situations aren't the only one out there, but I'm pretty sure you can understand how these two methods can be used to encourage people in other situations as well. Now that we've figured out the how, let's get into the why. Why is it so important that we're curious in the first place? Well, it's important because that's how we learn. Have you ever had those random questions like, how do lizards stick to walls? And because of that curiosity, you go to the internet and find a Veritasium video on exactly that. And now you're an hour in listening to chemistry and physics and atoms and friction? No? Only me? That is the power of curiosity. The power of asking why is to let you learn. And learning makes you find new things that you never thought you'd be passionate about. They are the stepping stones of multiple worlds of knowledge and information. Each question is a potential new hobby, job, or even just an icebreaker. Platypuses are the only mammals to lay eggs. For me, one of my biggest passions is the whole film industry. How and why movies are made in this particular way. From there, I figured out that I also liked writing and story structure. Arguably even more than studying film. And all of this could have never happened if I never asked the question, how did they do that? I'm sure that you have that one random question that brought you a new hobby, job, or friendship that you could have never gotten if you never asked. We've figured out how we lost our curiosity as we grow. We've wandered into the forests of why questions are important. And now we're at the final step of how can we get our curiosity back. The first and most important step is to simply be aware of how good curiosity is. Simply being aware can help you catch yourself more often when you're asking a question. And just maybe you delve deeper into that question. And another step is to stop jumping to conclusions and judging a book by its cover, as this mindset of knowing everything simply isn't true. Sometimes the people you're talking to know so much more than you ever could. But because of your judgment, you lose the chance to ask your question, as well as the chance for them to show you their expertise. Instead, just give that extra 5 minutes to ponder and listen. You may also think that creating these questions is a bit hard, but the truth is, they can be anything. You don't have to find a question that will bring you down a rabbit hole every single time. It could literally be the dumbest questions like, why do I like coriander? Oftentimes, the deepest rabbit holes come from the smallest, most random questions out there. Finally, don't be ashamed of asking something. When I think of the multiple libraries of knowledge that I could potentially get by just asking a simple question, I wonder, why am I so against asking this question? Maybe I could even make a friend from this. So, just ask. You never know what's gonna happen. We live in an environment that disincentivizes us from asking questions, be it from our living conditions or the people around us. But that doesn't mean we can't be curious, as it allows us to learn new things, find new hobbies that we could have never found before, or maybe find a cherished friend. And how we can get a little bit of this curiosity back in our lives is by being aware of the benefits of being curious and not letting our preconceived notions blind our path. I hope that after watching this, you've gotten a little bit more curious about everything. Maybe you'll start asking more questions. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Today I want to lose our curiosity. Today I want to lose our curiosity. The simple answer is to blame it on people around us and I need a drink of water. But as a child, using such harsh words can be pretty exciting. Wait, what? To conclude things, we live in an environment. This is like a twist. I can't even say tongue twister, man.